It also so it's a Friday, and of course, welcome to your favorite current affairs program, The Dialogue, right here on WoezorTV. My name is Randy Ahadzi. Remember, The Dialogue comes your way every Friday at 8:30 a.m. with a repeat on Saturdays as well as Sundays at 11 p.m. If you have been following the media space lately or early part of the week, you would have realized there seemed to be some sort of controversy or confusion rocking parents and WAEC, as well as some private schools, basically talking about the 2026 BEC results. Whereas some private schools or the leaders of the private schools are accusing or alleging against WAEC of bias with regards to the reports or the results that were churned out recently. WAEC on the other side has also come out to clarify that. This morning, let's dig deeper. Let's delve into the issues, find out exactly what the issues are, and find solutions to it. This is The Dialogue with me, Randy Ahadzi. Indeed, we'll take a breather. When we return, I'll introduce my guest, and then we can set the tone for the conversation right here. Stay with me. There is more after the break.
Embarrassed. Too embarrassed to speak to a loved one. Too embarrassed to speak to your doctor.
Too embarrassed. When in our lifetime, 1 in 4 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. 1 in 12 black men will die from prostate cancer.
Let me repeat that. 1 in 4 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. 1 in 12 black men will die from prostate cancer disease.
1 in 12. That could be your dad, even your older brother, uncle, or grandfather.
You need to make sure they are not embarrassed to speak to you or their doctor about it.
Hey, Dad, have you had your prostate checked out? See? How hard is that? It's easy. Just start the conversation.
Prostate cancer is survivable if caught and treated early enough.
Don't let embarrassment stop you having this important conversation.
You may save someone's life.
Not just your own.
Welcome back to The Dialogue right here on WoezorTV. My name is Randy Ahadzi. As I intimated this morning on our dialogue table, we delve into the 2026 BEC results, allegations of grading irregularities, and demands for transparency. I mean, these arguments were put up by the private schools, some parents. We find out what exactly are the issues. WAEC, as I mentioned, they have come on board to clarify. Hopefully, we get some more responses from them as well. But joining me in studio for the conversation is Gabson Kofi Raphael. He is the General Secretary, National Council of PTA. And as I told you, of course, parents are complaining about what they have seen as far as the awards results are concerned. Hopefully, we get to speak to Theophilus Apau. He is the PRO, Association of Private Schools. And largely, they have raised quite a number of concerns. Do they agree with the clarification offered by WAEC to the main issues that we want to discuss this morning? Hopefully, we get to speak to John Kapi as well. He is the PRO at WAEC. We'll speak to him as well for more clarification on that one. Dr. Saidu Mohammed Fita is an assistant lecturer at the University of Development Studies, and he has also been following this conversation keenly. He also joins us via phone for an in-depth analysis of the issues. We need to find a solution so that next year we don't come back to this same table to discuss some of these issues, allegations here and there. But Gabson is here. Let me just welcome him quickly. Gab, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Ahadzi, it's not easy, but...
So when you say it's not easy, what are you referring to?
You know, I speak as a parent whose daughter just wrote the BEC 2026, and also as an educationist, and as a general secretary and one of the chief advocates for parenting in Ghana, representing the National Council of PTAs. I represent both parents in public and private schools. So when there is a debate about BEC results and it leads to credibility issues, where people are questioning the modus operandi of how grades are established for schools, definitely where I sit, I should be worried, because I serve as a bridge between parents, school administrators, and then examination officers, or those who conduct public exams in the public interest. So definitely.
So you find yourself in a mix
in a very dilemma
of all that is happening,
especially looking at my daughter.
What are the issues, Captain? What really are the issues? Let's hear.
Well, the core messages that I see: one, trust is the issue. WAEC has served Ghana well, but when parents see a consistent gap between class performance and BEC grades, trust erodes. You know that? Trust is the currency of public exams. Two, there's issue about data over drama. Associations are not protesting for nothing. They have years of school-based assessment, mocks, terminal data that don't align with their final grades. Definitely, parents deserve to know how moderation accounts for that. You know that. Three, there's also this issue about fairness must be seen. But when we are talking about fairness, whose own do you accept? Is it that of WAEC? Is it that of we parents who are also complaining? Whether public or private school, the most important thing is that a 14 or 15-year-old child, future is at stake. You understand? So the issue about fairness, WAEC says that the grading is fair and non-discriminatory. Is that not what they are saying? That is a good call. Now, let's demonstrate it. And the only way we can demonstrate is an independent review that protects WAEC's integrity. You know, it doesn't attack it. This discussion doesn't attack WAEC's integrity.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
But that's from when we say it looks as though just wild allegations accusing WAEC for nothing.
International best standards that they are using it's always been audited, because an unexamined life is not worth living. And they say that sickness is like rain, which does not fall on one roof alone. If you pelt another with pebbles, you ask for rocks in return. So this whole debate should not be reduced to any personal attack and ego issues. You understand? So we need to look at it. We also have to look at the issues about channels that must work for all. Yes, I've heard people say, oh, you can ask for remarking. What's the procedure? Is it expensive? Is it cheap? Are you getting my point? These are issues that we should look at it. I have personally activated the remarking channel. And I'm just hoping that probably by close of today or Monday, I should be able to submit something to WAEC.
Okay, Gabson, hold on. Just your initial reactions to the issues. Let me also bring in Dr. Saidu Fita to also give his initial thoughts on the complaints that you have raised together with other people as well. Doc, good morning.
Good morning, my dear brother Randy.
Doc, thank you so much for your time. Yes, very well. Doc, let me first of all pick your reactions to the attacks and counterattacks, the allegations thrown at WAEC, and the reactions from WAEC. From where you sit, what will be your first or initial take on all of this?
Good morning to you, to your cherished viewers. My filter is TERO and not TER. TER. Before the filters come and attack us. since this issue came up, I've been worried about issues of doubt and credibility about WAEC. And this is a very important wing or arm between someone progressing to another level when it comes to school. So, for instance, before you go to senior high school, you must sit for your BEC examination before you progress to the senior high school. And when you are exiting senior high school to tertiary, again, WAEC will conduct SSC examination for you to write before you progress to the university. And so, we shouldn't have an instance where credibility issues are raised concerning the results of WAEC. We should not have that. WAEC was not just formed yesterday. WAEC was part of the West African countries. So I don't even know why we are still calling it WAEC, because this one body that is conducting exam now is only Ghanaian. It's not the West African one. It's not a general one. Because under the previous government, we were decoupled from the West African one. You know, Nigeria will always provide mathematics that if you work it, you are able to resolve it or solve mathematics from Nigeria. You can work any mathematics across the world. There were instances where students will bring a past question from Nigeria, mathematics, and a teacher will stand before students and suffer to work that mathematics. It was not a reason for us to decouple ourselves from WAEC. It was something waking us up for our teachers to get proper training. It was exposing how at that level, some of the teachers that we churn out to the schools to teach our students, they were not prepared. So we're just simply supposed to, encourage teachers to open up their mind, to learn more beyond the training college and passing them out. But for whatever reason, we felt that writing West African, because when we were West African examination, this year, one country, they will come together. The countries will come together and set questions. And anytime we have mathematics or these workable courses, it was becoming difficult for Ghanaian students to, pass through. So we have recording a lot of failures at the BEC level. And that is why, if you remember, government had to even bypass questions for students, and yet they will still fail after going through the past questions. To a point where copying was becoming very common, as if it was now part of our educational curriculum. Let me refresh your mind and your viewers. It came to a point where even teachers were tagged as NDC teachers and NPP teachers. And so if you are very strict on students not to copy, you are an NDC invigilator. If you are free to allow them to copy, you are an NPP invigilator. So students were allowed to copy. This is not a secret. You can even Google it. An issue of a community came up where teachers were reprimanded and arrested because they were writing on the blackboard for students to copy and write, examination to progress to the next level, that is to senior high school. So now, if a student, for example, is copying on a blackboard to go to senior high school, what impact is the student going to make? So those times were exposing the inefficiencies and the weakness of WAEC. Second point, do we have permanent staff at WAEC who are taking through orientation? For example, when you have an institution or a body like WAEC that is responsible in examining the strength of our students when it comes to, grasping what teachers are teaching. Because see, what you input in a system is what it will pour out. So you garbage in and garbage will come out. What you teach them is what they are going to produce at the end of the day. So WAEC responsibility is one, to examine whether what our students were taught, it was getting into their brains and they could, the output will be better. Now, there's no problem whatsoever for students to write examination today and all of them fail. It will only expose the system, and we need to go back to the drawing board and know how to start with these children. You see, these are fresh students. These are young guys at the age of 10, 11, 12, 14, 15 years. Because even today, I, entered university after 10 years of senior high school. I entered university in 2013 with a 16-year-old girl who came out with me as a doctor. It tells you the quality of teaching she got at the senior high school. So when we are playing or toying with these children at BEC level and at senior high school level, definitely these issues will come out. Look, those who came out raising those allegations are not dumb, for the want of better words. They know what they are doing. They know the system. They have worked with it. In fact, we have, schools where we, as a university, no more would take students coming from certain names of schools which you have never even heard before. There are schools in the system that work directly with WAEC. People told us, allegedly, that you register, you pay a certain money more than the normal school fees you would have paid. So they don't care whether it is free. They will go and pay. Students will pay and register. In the final weeks of examination, they will go and write and be sure that they will pass the examination. Let me tell you, and my brother in the studio, we have a student who came out with results. Grade 6, beautiful results. Then you ask the student, so will you do medicine? Because this will qualify you to do medicine. And he said no. Will you do education? He said no. Will you do business? He said no. So which course at all can you do? He said, give me time to think about it. For 2 years, the student is not able to select which course he or she wants to do. You know why? Because he knows the result is not his. But how did he pass it? Is that not credibility issues? Everybody is pretending as if everything is fine. No. Why, if they don't even have permanent workers, but they should know there are leakages at that level. There are. And that is why universities now, just recently, I heard GTech came out, admonishing universities to scrub off entrance examination. There is a lot of wisdom in entrance examination, because someone genuinely will get 20. You deny the person 20, someone will come with 6, and the 6 is not genuinely earned. Then you pick the person with 6, ignore the genuine 20, and the person come and cannot defend he or himself or herself at the university level. Because you come and you face physics, chemistry, biology, and you can't even pass evening examination. It means it was not earned. Now you have to sack that student, and the opportunity you would have given to the genuine 20 was wasted because you gave it to someone with 6, and the 6 was not properly earned. Because, look, Randy, you cannot get aggregate 6 A1 as chemistry at the senior high school and come and fail basic microbiology at the university. It's not possible. So it means there are credibility issues. You cannot pass physics, very difficult physics, genuinely at senior high school, and come to the university and fail basic physics. It is not possible. So the moment you are failing that way, that means there's a problem.
Okay, hold on to that. I'll come back to you for the continuation. The concerns about credibility, and WAEC has explained. Now, they have actually denied the issues of bias. They have also mentioned, and how are we able to even know that this result of the examiner knows that this particular paper belongs to a private school candidate? I'll come back to you on that. But Theophilus is here. Theophilus Apau speaks on behalf of the private schools, and largely they have raised these concerns in the space that we are discussing this morning. Theo, good morning.
Good morning.
Gabson touched on some of the issues that are concerns to you. You representing the private schools, what else do you want to add? What are the issues?
Okay, so basically, first of all, I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity, and then I want to address one or two concerns. Since the inception of the free SHS, there have been changes in terms of the marking of the BEC. We have what we call the criterion interpretation, and then we have what we call the norm interpretation. So over the years, for over 20 years, we've been using the criterion interpretation to mark the BEC. That's when they grade you based on what you get. For instance, if it is 80 to 100, 80 to 100, we all know it's 1. 70 to 79 is 2. Over the years, that's what they've been doing. But since the inception of the free SHS, after 2 or 3 years, they introduced the norm interpretation.
Okay.
The norm reference interpretation. That is when they group all the students into one category. So for instance, if we are 3 years and we write the exams, and I get 90 over 100, they'll break it down into 4%. They'll break the 90 into 4%. So if you have 500 students writing the exams, instead of maybe 5 out of the 500, 100 gets 98, instead of all the 100 getting the 1. No, that's on the system now. So they'll break the 100 who have gotten the 98 into 4%. You get it? So you can get 80. In the olden days, you are supposed to be given 1.
With 80.
1. Yes, with 80. But this time around, you can get 80
and have B.
And have B or C.
2. Really?
Yes, because of the norm system. Because the norm system, they group all the students into one body. And then they break it down based on percentages.
Okay.
I get it. Our problem we have with WAEC is the system. Transparency of the system. The system has not been fair.
When you say transparency, exactly what are you referring to?
Okay, the reason why I'm saying transparency is that, you see, with the criterion system, we know that if our student gets 80,
okay,
it's automatically 1. And you come to us that we should give you assessment. I get it. So when I was coming, I was listening to my boss. Eddie was saying about the school-based assessment, the SBA. So we give records of our students, the 50 marks. And so with the new system, we don't understand if the assessment is still there. Because if the assessment is still there, how come some of the students will be getting 8 and 9? If the assessment is still there. Because if you are grouping all the students into one category, category A, category B, category C, and depending on your grade, when I get 70, and you are telling me 70, I have to fall under a category based on the performance of the students. So 70 in the olden days is 2. This time around, 70 can be 4 or 5, depending on the mark someone is getting. So our problem is the transparency. Why are you getting this figure?
But was this not explained to, and I'll come to you, Gabson, on this, was this not explained to key stakeholders? Because I believe that the private schools are part of the stakeholders.
Yeah.
The parents-teacher associations are also part of the key stakeholders. Was this not discussed even before getting to this point?
All right, okay. So I don't want to be more political, but I think this time around our system goes with a little bit of politics. The reason why I'm saying that is, you know, Honorable Yaweduchum was then the education minister. So we asked for explanation further.
Okay.
We want this particular change of system. We asked for explanations, but some way, somehow, the explanation wasn't that clear. Do you get it? And I'm not here to bash my leadership too, but some people indulge themselves into political grounds where, even though the system wasn't clear, they were not able to complain. So the problem keep reoccurring over the years. We'll be here and next year we'll come again and complain on the same issue. The reason I'm saying that, I think some few months ago I was here and we complained about the registration of the BEC, where WAEC increased, and we think government came in, the Minister of Education, Honorable Aruna Idrisu, traveled, and even had a meeting with us, told us when he comes back, you will make sure we will go back to the old system. But at the end of the day, what happened? I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I get it. Let me throw that to Gabson as well. See, I'll come back to you. But Gabson, I'm saying that, and this is the point. I don't know how you take it, but yes, the system was introduced by somebody else. There were people in there, like Theo mentioned. It means that this discussion was held, but people at that time in the helm of affairs decided to let it be. But I'm saying there is a new sheriff in town. Why didn't you raise these same issues when the new sheriff came? Were you okay with it? And again, why didn't we see similar accusations or allegations last year? Because this is not the first BEC under the new sheriff.
Okay, so thank you. You see, they say an unexamined life is not worth living.
And this is the second time you said it.
Yes, and I always say that, you see, when a new system rules out and you begin to critique it when it has not even taken effect. And people have not seen, they've not diagnosed to see the symptoms, to see the good side of it, to see the bad side of it. There has not been a proper SWOT analysis. On what basis are you saying that you will not allow the system to work? People might think that someone has induced you to come and just poo-poo it and then speak against it. But you see, there's an interesting dilemma. And that is what I've always stood for. And I said, look, devoid of the principles, devoid of wherever we belong to, principles must be consistent and we must be fair to the parties. Private schools, public schools, I speak for them because I'm a parent. Because when a PTA in a private school is no different from a PTA in a public school. It's the same PTA. In fact, we are in charge. It's just that sometimes the coordination, we are not able to spread our hands everywhere. That's why we have a challenge. So I've spoken to you and I've told that there's an issue that trust is the issue. Because people were using a system. What he was talking was a criterion reference test. In education, we call the criterion reference test. And then the norm reference test. So we have moved from criterion to norm reference test. Those days that we were schooling, and when I completed BC 2006, 2007, 1996, 1997, my 80, 90, and somebody who got 100 in Accra, and I who got 80, 90 in Boko, Presby. We all had grade 1. And because you see, the environments are not the same. Somebody who is in Boko, or somebody who is in Atebubu, or somebody who is in Kajeji, or somebody who is in the hinterland, in a front place, and is able to write BEC, and he gets 80 score, and you are putting him in the same quagmire with somebody who is in Accra, having the luxury and all the opportunities available to him, having a very good parental support, and he goes maybe 90, and you put the 80 and the 90 together and say that you are striking 4% of that to decide who should be under grade 1, who should get a grade 2 grade. Totally, that system has not spoken to equity. You understand? In education. So my issue is that I said that the core message, I'm giving you 5 issues, because me listening to them as I speak to you, whatever they are doing, it's not they are doing it, it's all of us. It's just that they have put themselves as private schools and they think that the system is discriminatory against them. In favoring who? Is it public schools? The answer is no. Because the way they are complaining, the public schools are also complaining. The only difference is that you see a parent who invests in the education of a child by paying, he feels the pinch as compared to a parent who hasn't paid so much. You understand? And let me be honest and frank with you in this discussion. Most parents whose children are in private schools are the creme de la creme. When you quantify 80% of private school parents, most of them have the well to do. They are the movers and the shakers. Are you getting it? They control the private space, even the public space. Most of those who are there who believe that there's public good in public service, they don't even patronize it. That's the reality we find ourselves in. Are you getting it? So we find ourselves in such a situation. So you have one, trust is the issue. WAEC has served Ghana well. But when parents see a consistent gap between class performance and BEC grades, trust erodes. Trust is the currency of public examinations. 2, data over drama. I call it data over drama. WAEC has the data, they are not showing it to us. We have the drama because the public interest is what is guiding us to also discuss this thing. So associations are not protesting for nothing. They have years of school-based assessment, mocks, and terminal data that don't align with their final grades. Parents deserve to know how moderation accounts for that. What is the moderation system? That's the WAEC system. What are they doing? And you see, doing business without advertising is just like looking at a girl in the dark. You know what you are doing. The girl doesn't even know that you are even seeing her nudity. Excuse my language. And you are having a feeling, you are enjoying, but the girl doesn't even know that anything is happening. Or the lady, or the man, if it's a woman who is also looking at it from the other side. So we need to unmask this kind of discussions. 3, fairness must be seen, not only heard. It has to be done. It has to be done and done well. WAEC says grading is fair and non-discrimination. That's a good call. Now let's demonstrate it. How do you demonstrate it? An independent audit. Are you getting it? An independent review protects the integrity of WAEC. It doesn't attack it. So anybody who sees it as let's attack WAEC, WAEC has enjoyed monopoly, we are missing the link. If a system is enjoying monopoly but it is working in the collective interest, let's support it. But if the system is enjoying monopoly and is becoming complacent in certain things, let's look at how best we can review it and read this thing. 4 channels must work for all. Activation channels for remarketing comes with some operational expenses. If one parent is raising an issue of remarketing, that one is his own matter. He can deal with it. But you see, as I've told you, I have activated remarketing for my daughter. But we cannot have a system that only parents who can pay get answers. We need a system review. Why am I saying that? If 20 or 30 parents are speaking to the same issue, it means that the product which is in the market, we must recall it and re-examine it whether it met all the best of standards before we deploy it. So that people do, so that because the customer, who is the customer? It's we the parents.
Yeah.
You see, that is the painful truth that we parents who are the consumers of educational knowledge, when issues of this nature are going on, when they went to meet the teacher, we were not there.
Yeah.
But they forgot that what they were going to discuss was even about us more.
Yeah, sure.
And they needed us to be with them on the table. And there are certain things they couldn't have told Edichum, who could have told Edichum in his face.
Yeah.
The same way, I'm sometimes very hard and firm on the minister and then the Ghana Education Service because PTA guidelines issues. Very soon I will release some information to you to know that we've won the first part of the court case. The injunction has been granted to us on these guidelines, and the court says that, look, you don't have that mandate. Stay off that business once we go into a substantive issue. Besides that, the child first.
So you land on that, then I rope in.
SHS placement is at stake. Whatever we do, we must do to answer one question: is this fair to the child? Because a child who got 80 as compared to a child who got 90, and he was targeting to get Achimota or to get St. Rose's in Akwetia, or to get Kita School, or to get this school in Mauli, or to get Infansipim Adisabel, or the creme schools that we know. And that child is told that, yes, you got 80. Ideally, if all Ghanaian children who were going to get one had all 80, then all of you in the 4% bracket, you fall within that threshold, we will give you a grade 1. We are not being fair to the system. This is something that we need to ask ourselves, that when that whole issue was being deployed, what test systems did WAEC use? What validation mechanism? Who were the stakeholders that WAEC or the government or whoever was part of this discussion went through with us for all of us to agree that this is the way to go? So tomorrow when there's an issue, admit that, Massa, we shot ourselves.
But Gapsin, the point
that is the reality of the discussion.
The point I'm raising is that, and that's where I want Dr. Fita to also come in. Is
and let me, Fita was saying something. So see, there are brand truths which are part of the streams of the discussions. For me, as a parent, I'm never interested in my child engaging in examination malpractices, whether it's a public school or a private school. And I don't want a child who cannot defend his grades. Because you see, no matter how.
No, but the point is raising that.
Yes, it's a fact. It's a fact. That's why I'm saying that. Yeah. I'm saying that, look, the discussions we are doing now is because we find ourselves in a system that we've allowed education to look like it's only academics that prove your worth in society.
Okay.
Character doesn't matter. If character matters most, integrity would have been the first benchmark in terms of training.
Dr. Fita, the question of credibility is very paramount in all of the conversations that we are having. But I listened to excerpts of the reactions from WAEC. Now, from where I sit as a layman and being objective, I asked the question, Doc, how easy is it, because I know you are an examiner, so how easy is it for an examiner to distinguish between an examination paper coming from a private school or from a public school, where indeed the private schools now are making the argument that the bias is towards just the private schools. Doc, how easy is that?
Randy, it is not a secret. WAEC always will do validation of results after marking.
Okay.
Kofi is there, he knows. My good friend who represents the private schools, he knew. I sit here in Tamale, and I know Greater High School is a very popular school. Little Flower is a popular school, and I know they are all private schools. And I know Presby Primary School is a public school, and I know Methodist Primary School is a public school. So this is not in secret. Anybody at all who is conversant with our educational system, the moment a paper lies on your table, you should be able to tell. Number two, just as in the case of the universities, if you are given a cohort to teach, they will tell you these are mature students, these are toppers, and these are generics. They will tell you. So the moment WAEC is even giving scripts out for marking, of course, they will be able to tell the person who is going to mark that this is coming from a private school, so they know. It is, you don't even need a rocket scientist to come and tell you that these scripts are coming from a private school. Now, if there's anything to go by with their statement that WAEC is intentionally failing the private schools and passing the public schools, then this is a matter of interest for the GES and the Ministry for Education. It means that probably there was a certain business or something that they were doing that was favoring them. Now they are not doing. And if you listen to my friend, you realize that he's holding back. The young man representing the private schools, he's holding back certain things. And he's saying that he wouldn't want to, see certain things so it will look like politics. Remember immediately, you see, change of government or change of system always will affect whatever you are doing, whether right or wrong. Something, changes will come there. Now, the Ministry of Education, beginning from last year, when a new minister was sworn into office as education minister, he issued a statement before the first BCE under him that any teacher found or caught teaching students or cheating with students, the teacher is going to be held culpable. That did not even deter some teachers. In the news, we read from your portals, and in fact, your newscasters, they read news about teachers who, despite the warnings, were arrested for aiding students to copy. What is the joy? Is it because you feel the person, you didn't teach the person well, and definitely the person will fail? Is it an instance where someone paid money to you to help a student cheat and pass an examination? It is clear everywhere. Everybody knows that the system needs to be corrected. WAEC system has been very porous. They should not be defending themselves at this point. They know, people know about it. Like I gave you an example earlier. How can a student who came to write an exam at a private school come out with aggregate 6 or 7 or 8 and cannot even tell the course I want to do? Because if you come with science and aggregate 6, any university at all that wants to churn out competent students or graduates will want to pick you to do medicine, engineering, law, or any other course that will be beneficial to the state. They would want to. But in this case, a student will come with that results, and you are asking, which course do you want to do? And the student is running away. And for 2 years, the student could not tell, this is the course that I want to do. Now I ask you, WAEC has been with us for many years. And they have enjoyed that monopoly, like Kofi was saying. Yes, as to whether a body should come up and add up to WAEC or not, that is not what I care about. What I care about is for us to correct the system. If we have even 10 bodies which are compromised, the system will never be correct. The schools will never churn out better students into the tertiary. And so when you look at even the wrongs and the mistakes at WAEC, the result is reflecting at the universities where you see maybe 1,000 students come in, and before the first trimester ends, those who go back to school will be around 38, 300 or 400. Because the rest, how can a student, for example, come to school in the first trimester will fill up to 5, 6, 7 courses? And for some of us who run a system where if you fail up to 4, you can't even get your portal opportunity to register, the system will log you out. It means that there's something wrong at the middle. The middle is WAEC, from the senior high school, WAEC, and the university. Because the moment you leave the senior high school, you are progressing to the university. And so if you come with a very compromised result, you have a problem. And you see, sometimes because they have done that at that level, they are taught that, because you see, children are one thing. Randy, let me say this. I have always told people closer to me, when you are going to town and your child is crying, don't lie to him or her and tell the child that when I go to market and I'm coming back, I'll buy you toffee. If you fail to buy the toffee, you are teaching the child how to lie. Okay?
Yeah.
If you tell your child, I will do this for you, and you fail to do it, for example, someone is coming to look for you in the house, and you tell your child, go and tell the person I'm not around. When you are around, you are teaching the child to lie. Don't think it is a joke. You are teaching the child that you can lie and nothing will happen, and lies are accepted. So the moment you start teaching someone at a junior high school how to copy, and make them feel copying is not an offense, and they come to senior high school and meet same, they will take it to the university. Tell me the type of graduate who churn out to the world at the end of the day. We definitely will have a problem. So the problem begins from that level, the BEC level, get to senior high school level, and when it gets to university where there's no strictness, definitely you churn these people out and they will not be of any use to the system. That's why you can even see that students will come for interviews and nobody will be able to perform anything, not any better at all. And those people have to go home and they sit home and they are complaining about lack of employment. Okay? Now, for how long is WAEC going to wait to get people to work for them? For how long? Because they have a lot of work in their hands. When BEC is finished or completed, they would have to hire people auxiliary from different places to come and mark papers for them. After that, they call different people to come and do validation. And you see, Randy, I know some years ago, now I don't have an idea. When you are doing validation, they pay 50% per paper. So if you want to get more, you will not do proper validation. You'll be rushing the papers and you will not do proper validation. At the end of the day, wrong results will be uploaded. So this time, I'm not even talking about what the private schools are saying. I am talking about the ills in WAEC itself. You go to look for someone, you see people who, for example, examinations are changed. The examinations that we will sit and write in today, the questions, will be changed probably in the next 5 years because systems change. Then you bring someone, for example, excuse my words, born before computer, who, if you give me a computer to create an Excel sheet, the person cannot create it. The person has forgotten the present. You bring the person to validate today's paper. Of course, there will be problems. Why still does that? Why can't we have a system where, for example, in the university, when you mark your examination papers, you do everything about your calculation, add your continuous assessment, presentations, etc. Then you put the result in the system, and the system will do the grading for you. Why can't WAEC do it? If I mark a paper, I am not to tell the student you get an A or B or C. It is not me. The system will tell. If I push in aggregate 30, I push in mark 39, the system will grade you F. That is if you are doing education courses, business, etc. But if I give you aggregate 40 or mark 49, it will grade you as F again when it comes to the sciences. That is Doctor of Pharmacy, Doctor of Medical Laboratory, and medicine. So WAEC should be able to modernize the type of work they do. If every day they are just going to be the analog way of doing their work, we will find problems like this. And so let's not rubbish what the private schools are saying. And we can also be conclusive that their allegations are true, but at least let's investigate. And I am sure the Ministry of Education, GES, they will take keen interest in this matter.
Doc,
and go deep into it and investigate.
Doc, way forward, I'll come back to you on that. You spoke about monopoly of WAEC. What will be your recommendations on that? I'll come to you on that as well. And there seem to be some other pertinent questions. For instance, you look at the data that they have churned out. Shouldn't we rather be applauding WAEC for doing a great job? You talk about 167 results withheld, 601 results cancelled, 2,722 results pending. Now, Doc, you recall that some years ago we had issues of malpractice on the rise. I'll come back to you on that one for the roadmap. Theo, before you also come in, let's listen to John Kapi as he addressed the media yesterday in relation to whatever challenge or complaints that Theo and his people have been raising. Let's watch this video.
9, also known as Standard 9 grading system. It is a statistical method of reporting candidates' performance relative to the overall performance of all candidates in a particular subject. The Standard 9 scale ranges from 1 to 9. The entire population of examination candidates is considered one cohort. Out of this lot, the first 4% score. Under no circumstances does WAEC discriminate against candidates on the basis of whether they attended private or public schools. How BEC scripts are marked. The Council employs rigorous quality assurance procedures throughout the entire marking process. We ensure that there is anonymity between the examiners and the scripts they mark. This is done by swapping the scripts of candidates across regions, coding and packaging of scripts, and random
released. And I will throw that question to you. We saw complaints in the past few years ago, the surge in exam malpractice, which gave way to a lot of these guys who came out with flying colors, quote and unquote. Now they head into the secondary school and the matter is different. They go into the universities and the matter is different. In correcting that, is that not why we find ourselves here? Because you look at the data, the numbers, 167 results withheld for varied reasons, 601 results cancelled, 2,722 pending. Should we not clap for WAEC?
All right, so
for a thorough job done?
All right, so thank you. Would you be able to pinpoint whether the 100 and something results you are talking about are coming from private schools?
From where I sit, I can't.
Thank you. So you can't, so far as you can't pinpoint that, we shouldn't just assume it is only private schools who engage in examination malpractice.
No, that's not
No,
the point I'm building.
What Doc said, he said over the years, some of the private schools or whatever, they've been engaging in examination malpractice, and due to that, the system has changed.
But we've had that complaint before.
But it is not only.
Should we mention names?
It is not only the private schools.
Yeah, I'm not saying just the private schools anyway.
And then, before I continue, yesterday, WAEC came out that they are not able to identify, those who mark are not able to identify whether this script is coming from a private school, a public school. But today, Doug has clarified that they know where each and every script is coming from.
That's his view.
But you know, when I'm marking a script, maybe I'm an examiner, I'm marking a script, and I hear Konongo RC, automatically, it might sound to me that Konongo RC is a Roman Catholic school, and Roman Catholic school belongs to the public. When I hear a school of maybe Alpha International School, government doesn't use the word international. There is no public school using the word international.
Okay.
So me marking the script, I know this script belongs to a private school. So if you come and you tell us that you are not, there's no system that identifies a private and a government school when you are marking scripts, that means it comes to what my boss is saying, the credibility, trust. You are not being fair to the system because you know where each and every paper is coming from. But fast forward, they should be able to explain the 4%.
So let me read exactly what the explanation on that from WAEC is. WAEC says that, and they emphasize that examiners do not know whether a script belongs to a private school or public school candidate because exam envelopes only display center numbers and candidate ranges. I am not privy to that, but that is the explanation WAEC is giving. Is that so?
But who gives when you are marking the script, definitely you see the index number.
Yes.
And WAEC knows each and every school's index number.
And that is why.
Yes.
But the examiner Right, how is it called? The people who mark,
the examiners.
They are the examiners, right?
Yes.
But how will they know? For instance, if I am an examiner,
that's a script marker. It's
okay, a script marker.
Okay, a script
Good,
marker.
a script
Not
marker.
examiner.
All right.
How would the script marker? So thank you, Gabson. How would the script marker know that? Because just all you see is just index numbers. How will I know that this index number belongs to this so and so school?
Okay, so no problem. Then let's have this argument here. Why will you come to us and tell us that we should bring a continuum based assessment if you know you are using the non-referential test system? Because then what is the essence of the continuum based assessment?
Yeah.
If you are telling us you are going to range best students across the country in percentages, then what is the essence of the continuum based assessment? All what we are calling for is transparency.
Well,
the system must be transparent for us.
Gabson says that he has activated the remark clause as a person, as a parent. I don't know what private schools are doing. I'll get to you on that. But Gabson, also the
but let me chip in. You see, with the 4% system, even if when you get there, because if you go for remarking, I'm not speaking for WAEC, but per what I know, if you go for remarking and they are done marking everything, and your word deserves whatever grade or whatever marks your word is supposed to get, they are going to group it. You see, the problem is the non-referential test. They are going to group it. How will you know? You see, how will you know that 80 students at 94 and your word at 93? Based on the percentage, if you're expecting your word to get 1, you see, based on the percentage, you are expecting your word to get 1 because your word at 93. But with the permutation, with the percentages,
maybe it ends at 95.
Come again.
Maybe it ends at 95.
Maybe it ends at 95. But with the permutation, your word might end up getting 2,
even with 90.
Yes, that's the new system.
Okay.
You see, and with the introduction of the new curriculum, they told us we are going to write the national standardized test. Where is it? Is it the former regime introduced a new system with a new curriculum where when you are going to teach a word, you have to start with songs and other things to energize them. And they told us from basic 1 to basic 3, you write a national test. Basic 3 to basic 6, you write a national test. Basic 6 to basic 9, you write a national test. Then it continues, you transit to secondary school. So where is the national test? Where teachers or facilitators go for training? I believe all of us went for training on this introduction of the new curriculum, which came into existence in 2020. They told us WAEC, they are going to take the WAEC system, the examination system, out. Just for us to know that they are taking the criterion system out to introduce the norm.
So that was what that's what you guys have gotten. I mean, as an indication with what they told us in the beginning.
Even with the explanation of the PRO, the WAEC PRO, that's what he's telling us.
Okay.
And beginning, they told us that the norm system has been in existence since 1990. It's a lie. So how come the criterion system? So if the norm system have been in existence since 1990, then we're from the criterion system.
Gabson, what do you say?
Well, WAEC says no evidence.
I feel your pressure because you're a parent, you're a teacher,
an educationist and a parental advocate. So you should understand that I fit squarely in this equation better. Well, WAEC says that no evidence. This is misinformation.
Yes.
Well, and technically it means that it's NAPS, NACOPS, and all those of us who are having similar feelings. Are we spreading lies? Well, calling it misinformation ends the conversation. But this conversation cannot end based on calling it misinformation. There are more questions than answers, you know. And also, if there's no evidence, an audit will prove that and put this whole matter to rest. When you use your leg to hit a stone, who will feel the pinch? It's not you who want to use your leg to hit a stone. So if WAEC believes that their system has enough safeguards, they should say, look, we are fully prepared. We are a human institution. We work with people. Are you getting it? Let's see how we can all have deepened trust and deepened confidence and minimize perception and misconceptions about the system. Very, very important. 2, if there is, then we must fix it. If there's evidence. Right now, parents are sharing data on their various PTA groups, sharing data with all kinds of people, and that perception is being deepened that, oh, you see, the system is not the way you see it. Oh. You have to do some kwakwa to survive. And their parents who are not interested in kwakwa. Whether in public schools or private schools, nobody can say the examination malpractice doesn't exist. Where it started and where it's heading towards, what is important that it's not good for us as a country. And we must speak with one voice and speak against that one. You understand? Besides that, dismissing these discussions fuels the rumors, you know. And the best way we can do is that an audit is the fastest way to prove whether WAEC is right or wrong. Besides that, WAEC says we don't discriminate. Grading is standardized.
Yeah.
Why are private schools still protesting? Now the question is that since WAEC said that, why are private schools? I don't even see it as only private schools protesting. Because as I sit and protesting, everybody has a way of doing democracy. Somebody will go on the street. As I speak to you, we have activated a channel and I'm going to issue a letter to the minister. And I'm copying WAEC. Because I'm not doing anything at their blind side.
The argument would be that, so yes, private schools are more like are the ones asking the question.
No, they are not.
Why are the public?
No, they are not.
From
You
the
see,
public.
it is not only the private.
Hold on as well.
Hold on, fire.
I am saying that.
Hold on,
no,
fire.
no, Gabson, hold on. I control the show.
I know you control the show.
So hold on.
But you see,
Right,
for
so
now,
hold on,
you give
hold
me
on,
the platform.
hold on. Yes, so
okay,
hold on.
I'm waiting for
let me draw the program. Then you can come.
I'm
saying that. Just like Tio is saying,
yes.
Why are we not hearing similar complaints openly from the public schools? Not you as a parent.
I'm saying that. I'm saying that. You see, everybody in the society we find ourselves knows that, and I made that analogy earlier on, that where the creme de la creme, the movers and shakers of society, most of them now find their walls. It's in the private schools. So they have the resources, they have the synergy, they have the wherewithal to be able to create these kind of scenarios. But I'm telling you that there is a lot of complaints across board, whether public or private, on these same issues with WAEC. You understand?
Yeah.
That does not necessarily mean that it is WAEC as an institution that people are attacking. They are looking at the system and seeing that there's something wrong with the system that doesn't match with what we used to know. And it's becoming like, if you don't do certain things, you might not get certain results. And even people who have gone full length to make sure that they give out their best, the system is not giving them the best of results that they expect from the performance of their awards in school. That is one. So I'm trying to explain something that, look, you say you don't discriminate. Your grading system is standardized. I've heard that assurance. But that assurance without evidence doesn't come parents. You know that. Whether public or private schools. The issue is about outcomes over time. So if you pick it from 2022 till date, that is about 4 or 5 years. When you also go further, the process may be fair on paper. And parents may still perceive a pattern. Solution: publish the moderation framework. What they have. When there's an independent audit, we all got to know what is inside the room. We got to know the elephant in the room and deal with the issues. So I'm also saying that if the system is solid, it will survive scrutiny. But definitely, if the system has operational challenges, the scrutiny would unearth those things, and all of us will come back on the table and look at it and say, okay, this thing we've all identified, what is the best approach? So if I'm going back, whether I'm in a public school or in a private school, I've been well armed with new levels of information that is helping me to be able to build the necessary synergy to be able to confront the issues. The last one, which is very important for me, where it says that you can use the remarking channels. Yes. Why demonstrate if channels exist? These are the questions out there, and I'm trying to deal with those questions for the sake of education sensitization. One, channel is good for individual, but if if 20 parents in one school have the same concern, should all the 20 pay and wait? By the time they wait, maybe their children are in Form 1 or Form 2.
Yeah.
Are you getting? If by the time I'm even told they might issue you how much you are supposed to pay, then this whole process is gone. That is the retail solution to a wholesale problem. The problem is a wholesale problem. So we are asking for a system review, like calling back a product when those who patronize your customers complain about its efficacy. Maybe your advert didn't go well, so it has led to a lot of misconception. So I'm just pleading that if the WAEC Director of Public Affairs, my senior brother, a very learned person, when he speaks, you know that John Kapi knows his metal. There's not somebody who is just a pushover, you understand. And you know he understands communication. But I think that these are things that wherever he's sitting, I know he'll be watching, he should look at it.
Okay.
One, transparency. Can WAEC walk Ghanaians through how school-based assessment combined with the external exams produce the final grade? That was the question he was asking. Two, data. Does WAEC keep disaggregated data by schools types to monitor trends? Will you share it with the review body? Three, quality control. What internal audit does WAEC do after BEC for marking or data errors? How many scripts were remarked last year and what were the outcomes? Because when people go for remarking, you don't even share that outcomes with us. It doesn't help all of us. Access. Is WAEC open to a subsidized verification window where schools present credible statistical evidence of a systemic issue? And the last one, communication. How is WAEC working with the PTAs? Because the bottom line of this discussion, if we parents start fighting private school proprietors, that we pay so much, we invested so much in our children's education, you gave us a lot of assurances. Why are we seeing the contrary? So how is WAEC working with the PTAs to explain grading before results are released? Okay. So we don't end in crisis every year. Okay. These are my nagging questions.
I'll come back so we wrap up. But Theo, you wanted to add something before I move to Dr.
Oh, okay. So, quick one. My problem here again is the issue of transparency. The reason why you said something about private schools complaining, but we shouldn't forget most of the public school teachers, their awards are in private schools. They don't keep their awards in public schools.
This is what I'm saying.
I get it. They keep their awards in private schools.
And most of the public school teachers.
It's not even the teachers. Okay. Say the public school officials.
Officials, yes.
If you even make it teachers,
don't worry.
Narrow the narrative.
Yes. You see, and the awards are in private schools. And we have some private schools. The reason why we are complaining.
Let me just drop this and you continue. You know, I've been attacked that my child was in the private school and I decided to move her into a public school and look at the results. If she was in the private school, probably knowing her how exceptionally good she is, she would have
done better,
calmed me down, and I would even be having nagging headache. Okay. And it's a nightmare to me, you know.
And some of the private schools, especially the A-class private schools, they don't just write BEC, they write international exams as well. So you compare WAEC's BEC as to Oxford. They'll write Oxford and get good grades over there. They'll write BEC and get bad grades. So you ask yourself, what is the problem? You get it? And private schools are not the ones complaining. Even though we are the ones louder, we are not the only people complaining. Parents are also complaining, like my boss said. Okay. You get it? And the pressure, the reason why private school is out now is because the aim of every private institution is to make profit. So if you are withdrawing your child,
it's going to collapse that space.
Are you getting it? It's going to collapse
that space.
The space. Yes, and if private school is being collapsed today, it will run back to government. Government cannot absorb it.
Okay. Dr. Victor, let's wrap up with you. Recommendations. One, the monopoly, as you say, what can be done in that regard? Are we looking for a new or an added examiner that will be in charge that probably will give some competition to WAEC? Is that what you would recommend? And again, the calls for remark and forensic audit, as Gapsin and Theo have all called for. Now, it comes with cost. If you are going to do a forensic audit, who pays for this cost? Doc?
Randy, I talked earlier about white monopoly, I again added that why we may have so many bodies conducting examination in this country, but we still have these problems. If we are not able to fix it with just one vendor or one council that is conducting exam for us. So starting with why must be investigated now. They should not rubbish the private schools, their allegation. They must sit with them. And the government, led by Education Ministry and GES, must show interest. Sit with them so they'll be able to point the loopholes. You see, Ghanaians are very defensive. We are quick to rubbish people when our faults are exposed for them to correct us. Nobody wants another person to find fault in his work, even if there is one. So why we should not rubbish these faults that are pointed to them, and like we have all demonstrated today, to expose the loopholes that has been in existence at WAEC, not today. We've given examples. And like Kofi was mentioned, look, we all have I have 2 wards at the senior high school, whose one barrier is just left with WAEC to go to university. They are in their second year. They wanted to write WASI, and I told them, look, I am not sure they have prepared you enough to do that. Wait, because if you write any results that you come with, I won't be sure about it because I know what is going on at the senior high schools. You get it? It is only the private schools that are complaining now, but some government schools also. Because I think it is for government, that's why they are not complaining. If they were responsible in running the day-to-day activities of the school, i.e., owning the school, fixing problems if any time they appear, they would have also been complaining. But because the government, that's why you have not heard them complain. If the schools were for the headmasters, privately owned, you would have heard complaints from them. So it's not only about WAEC. With regards to even the grade, when you mark examination, you cannot, for example, convert all the marks and give everyone the same grade. Someone is coming, someone has scored 98. After conversion, the person is getting 2. Someone with 91, after conversion, the person also gets 2. Surely, that cannot stand. That cannot stand. So WAEC needs to, up their game. The government needs to show more interest in it. They shouldn't just sit in front of cameras and rubbish. And I am sure, in fact, that probably they may even rubbish this way and start calling them behind the scenes for them to come and sit around the table. I said openly that there are problems because it is a human institution. You cannot have it 100%. You have problems. People will be quiet, but one day they'll speak up. And the moment they speak up, it means we are getting somewhere. When you are sitting on the interest of human beings and they are quiet, don't be happy and think there's no problem. There is. There's even danger ahead. But now that they are speaking, it means we are going to find a solution, an amicable one, to all the problems that we are facing at WAEC. Because it's an important body. It's a very sensitive body. And if measures are not put in place for these mistakes to be corrected, I can assure you that the education system is going to get rotten. Because no matter how the hours you use to teach a student, no matter the effort you put in to teach a student, if WAEC take a single decision to mess the child up, that is the end of it. It is also possible that a student will learn hard, write well, and supposed to earn a grade, and at the end of the day, somebody sits somewhere mistakenly or wrongly, fail the person and kill the dreams forever. That's the danger. In fact, Kofi knows the script markers. If he's a leader when it comes to the PTA association in Ghana. Some students, it goes to a point where it's laughable that a teacher will write something on a paper or an invigilator so to score or refer to give to a student to write an exam. When they copy everything and they will leave a footnote. When you are done, pass it to the next person. The student, because of the low IQ, will even copy when you are done, pass it to the next person on the paper. And the script markers will see it. Some they will feel so reluctant and feel that, like I mentioned earlier to you, that copying is okay. So they will be done. And the paper they gave them in the exam hall, they will add it into the booklet and hand it over to the invigilators and leave, thinking there's no problem with it. So at the end of the day, when their papers are withheld, they feel that there's no justice done because they sat in and wrote the exam. So why are they holding on to their papers? Without knowing that what you did, the flagrant disregard to regulations of the examination and copying openly, it should cost you something. So, but the person will not know. When they say they are withholding papers, why doesn't even come clear to tell people why they are holding it? So even the student who is affected, they don't know what's happening. Some justifiable, some unjustifiable. So if you are not communicating to the people and everything is opaque, and you claim, for example, how do you justify, how do you confirm that the number they are churning out that is supposed to be withheld, cancelled, etc., are true? How are you going to justify that? How do you confirm that? So you can't sit even on your chair and say it is true because you can't confirm. There's no means of confirmation. So why need to sit up? This is not the time to deny what everybody knows is happening. It's not a time. It's not a time for why to deny what we have seen teachers arrested for doing that has been happening many years ago. Why should not sit and deny? When students came out and said, they bought us these booklets, and when we entered, we didn't find the answers, and they started insulting the parents. Why should not come and deny that? We saw it on TV. It is time to sit up. Education system in Ghana is dying. And it is starting from that level, the BEC and the WASI level, all conducting exam 4 by WAEC. So something must be done. They must investigate it. The private schools, I commend them. They must keep pushing, and WAEC and PTA association must show interest. They should not say they are in a dilemma. They can't be in a dilemma. You are PTA because it is about the children, and the children are for the parents. And the parents have a say, but we all cannot be gathered at one place to speak for ourselves. And that's why we have PTA. So PTA must show interest and push the private schools more to get more evidence and confront WAEC with it. And the moment that is done, I can assure you we are going to, if there's no compromise at all, we are going to unearth all the problems. At least we can't use one day. We can't use 1 year to solve the problems, all the problems. But once in a while, we must be plugging the loopholes, and it will get to a time where any student who wants to sit in and write BEC or WASI, you have to adequately prepare. In fact, some of these private schools, let me commend them. You know why? Some of them before the junior high school, my daughters completed and went to senior high school, they will not register every student to go and write, BEC. They will conduct internal examination. They will. And any student who falls short of the pass mark, they will not register you. And they will call parents and tell them. And if you disagree that your ward must register, they will tell you to go somewhere and register them. Because they will not send a half-baked student to go and write exam, and it will tarnish the image of the private school. Because they want quality. They want customers. And they only get the customers with good name. And they only get the good name when students are passing. Not just passing, but genuinely passing examination. So the private schools have a lot to offer. They should sit with them. They should ask them questions. They'll bring their proof. They confront WAEC with it. And we correct all these problems. Other than that, I can assure you if it starts rotting at the BEC level, get to WASI level, SSE level, it will get to the university. But you see, now, if you even go to the university, you see that intake is now low. Because the students are not coming. They're not making it. They're not passing. Because this government is strict. If you copy, they'll arrest you. If a teacher is caught teaching, they'll arrest you. So the fear of going into jail or police cells because of teaching a student, it has scared the teachers from teaching now. Some of the invigilators from teaching the students in the hall. And because they are not teaching, the marks are not coming again. So it means the standards are lowering. They are going down. Something must be done. GS, Ministry of Education, PTA Association, the private schools, they must sit with WAEC and correct the mistake. And I'm sure when that is done, and WAEC open up for the criticisms, for the corrections, into the near future, we can now sit at one place and brag that we have a WAEC that is training our students. But we shouldn't also forget, we must go back to our rules. WAEC must be connected to the WAEC. You can't say WAEC when we are not West African. I don't even get it. If we are West African, then we must be connected with the West African countries just as we're doing in the past. We all have gone through the WAEC. So we have to go back to that normal WAEC and not the one we are micromanaging in Ghana.
Doc, thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us this morning. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure always speaking to you.
Very well. Yes, Dr. Seydou Fita is an assistant lecturer at the University of Development Studies. That's UDS precisely. Our usual guest whenever it comes to issues on education. Doc, we are grateful. But we should wrap up in the next 5 minutes. Way forward. What next for the private schools?
Okay. So we think, like Doc said, there should be a stakeholders engagement again, and then WAEC should review the script verification, and I think everything will be okay if there's transparency in the system. You get it? Because I'm not going back to the same old thing, but we have evidence of a lot of foul plays, because some schools did not register their students for French. By the end of the day, when the grading system came, they were scored, they were given marks on French. Others registered their students for Akan, but they were given marks on Gan. So we have evidence on a lot of issues.
Really?
Yes, that's the system. So we have evidence.
So I wrote FA,
yes,
and I marked on Gan.
Gan. Do you understand? So why?
And you have this evidence?
Oh yes. I will come and sit on the national television and tell lies, yes. So we think WAEC must do another review on their verification, and they should explain to us on the non-referential test. They should let us understand it very
pockets, well. I mean, of cases, 1 or 2 cases out of the lots.
Even if it is 1, it's still a case.
Okay.
You get it? Even
I've seen how Gabson is.
You know, even if it is 1, it's still an issue. You get it? Because the future of every child in Ghana here is determined by WAEC. We shouldn't dispute that fact. Because when you get a good school, you know there is a possibility of you making it to tertiary. You do understand? And then the results of a child also determines the future.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you know you've written the exams, you're expecting something, it comes out wrongly. That child, if care is not taken, can commit suicide.
Yeah. Very well. Thank you. Gabson, let's wrap up. Way forward. The complaints are laid bare. Unfortunately, we are unable to get George Kapi to join us. The reason we brought that part of his clarification he made yesterday. But way forward, you personally, you are calling for a remark as well. But beyond that, what next?
Okay, so parents are asking, do grades reflect their work? That's the most important thing. WAEC says the system is fair. NAPS, NACOPS, and others like us who believe the PTAs, we all believe that the data doesn't match it. Besides that, the truth of the matter is that both extremes can be right. There should be a middle ground somewhere. You get the point. So what we need are answers, not arguments. And that's why we support an independent review. Not to attack WAEC, but to protect it. Audit the process and tell us the honest truth.
Who bears the cost for the audit?
It's the state interest, so the state must take care of it. So when there's a disaster, there's a flood, who bears the cost? So this is an examination flood or disaster. So government must be able, we pay the government taxes to solve problems. It has no option than to look at it, my brother.
Is that this an education or flood?
You know.
This is an education
you know flood. Better than I do. So this isn't WAEC versus private schools. This is about a 15-year-old girl or a 14-year-old girl or child whose SHS future depends on this. Let's give parents confidence, not confusion. So we are also saying in my closing remarks, and I like Seydou Fita raised some issues. I think that I understand where he's coming from, but I want him to know that we are maybe by close of today, I'll issue that public statement on our official position about it. And we have also drafted a petition to give to the minister, and definitely today I'm sure that we'll present it. But my closing statement is that Ghanaian parents are not asking for leaked questions or manufactured grades. Because my brother is talking about even manufactured grades, which is a serious issue.
Yeah.
We are asking for clarity. WAEC reputation was built on integrity. Let's protect it by opening the books and answering the questions, you know. Our children in public and private schools deserve that. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you.
Okay, before we go, let me just read this message from Ragamuffin, the ghetto priest. He says that, good morning to you and your staff. Previously, BEC results showed private schools pupils performing very well, but poorly at the senior high school. Nobody complained about favoritism, but today, it seems the public schools are seen as performing more than the private schools are, and private schools are complaining. Now let's look at the school grading system, category A or B or whatever. I believe this pushes teachers to assist pupils so as to raise the image of their schools and get their pupils to get into category A or B schools. This is my personal observation based on my experience as public school teacher and a private school administrator. And so that's the message that he sent in. And so I said we're wrapping up, but you just to take something out of this message. Is it also a case of the unnecessary competition or the unhealthy competition among schools? Thus, we seem to have this issue of examination malpractice on the rise. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but so my school definitely should have a good reputation in that competition, so that when they are grading and rating schools, I come first.
Okay.
Now his school also has to do the same thing, so that when people are looking for schools to join, he becomes an option as well. So some sort of unhealthy competition among especially the private schools.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me clarify this. When we say private schools, we are, all this discussion is being centered at one particular place. Schools with schools that charges more. But we have private schools. We shouldn't forget we have private schools. Low-cost private schools, they don't pay anything. You get
they are very less like an NGO.
Okay. Okay.
So we have low-cost private schools. So this discussion, what the
and I've seen them several.
Yes.
I can validate it for you. When you go to Yeji and you go on the islands,
there are lots of private schools.
In fact, last 2 months when I was on the islands doing some other assignment, I saw sometimes, Charlie, it's not easy.
Do you understand? So it's not about having this competition or having this discussion about private schools not performing well this time around. You get it? Like my boss also said, this discussion is not only centered about private schools, but private schools are looking at expanding their businesses, and if you are to expand your business, you need quality. So here lies the case: students will write and then they won't pass. Definitely, parents will withdraw their awards from private school to government schools. You get it? But everybody is complaining about this issue. It's only private.
Thank you. As the complaints arrive, I understand school selection is also ongoing. Are
it's almost closing today.
So again, that's the issue.
That is, you see, you see, sometimes I just.
So what happens to the issues that?
As I said here, there's pressure on me to choose schools for my kid, my daughter, because I have had a very different mindset about it. But I can just show you right now a message from, you see. Elliot, teacher at the just trying to find out what am I doing about it. Today we to close at 5 p.m. But no matter what, we need to take a decision. So once we take the decision, we still look at the issue. So the bottom line is that this year, the policy that see your results before you choose a school has one side of it that it takes away misconceptions. It takes away what do I call in terms of statistics. Probability. I get it. What we're doing formally was more of a probability thing. We are just guessing when we don't know the results. Now the results will tell you what to do. But you see, the other side of it is that the results also telling you that even if you decide to choose those schools, even though your daughter or your child is seen as one of the most best performing students in that particular enclave, the system doesn't even give him access to fall within the 4% threshold to get that category A school or that category B school that we are talking about. So it's a whole issue that I think
but before we go, should we not revert to the old system? And when I say the old system, maybe my error, what we did was that, Gabson, let me pose this, then you can understand what I'm saying. We chose, I think, 4 schools. So 3 main schools. So in category A, you select one of the schools of your choice. In category B, you choose the school of your choice. C, then the fourth one was, there was a word for it. So in all, when you choose this before even the results are churned out. So where the results comes, the school that probably you pick out of the 4 fits into the grade that you have gotten. So it becomes easy. So if you have aggregate 20 out of the 4 schools that you have picked, 20 definitely will fit into a category C school.
I'm a practitioner of that space for 24 years.
It didn't
and
work.
I can tell you that the old system, we all had issues with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this new system,
We should just try it.
we should just try it and see how it works.
Yeah.
But you see, if you had one opportunity to choose 1 from category A, and now you have a choice to choose 2 from category A, it's a better option than the previous. But the issue is now the
issue
reference
is
nominal
yes,
test
the
and then the
issue is on
criteria
the-
reference. That's the whole issue we are discussing.
Randy, the issue is on the
the equity
grading
debate.
system.
Okay.
Currently, the issue is not on
It's the
the
equity
selection
debate,
of the schools.
Okay.
Because
It's the
if,
equity
if
debate.
for instance, I've gotten 20,
Me, I
and
stay
I'm
in the
going to
rural area
select
and I become a shack, and you got everything. You don't have internet problem, you don't have textbook problem. I have struggled.
But they have traffic problems.
You have your traffic problem. You have decided to make it a traffic problem. Every system, you see, but the truth of the matter is
thank you,
that
gentlemen.
those who are in urban and areas like this are
They
always
stand
advantage
Yeah,
than
that's
those in the internet. So when you put the system and you match them at that level,
But there is 30% for those in
Oh,
at the
that 30% is not even working under this
It is working,
condition.
it's still working.
Oh,
There is 30% for
Very well,
interland
gentlemen,
schools.
thank you so much. Gabson Kofi Raphael is the General Secretary, National Council of PTA, and he has also joined us here in studio. Thank you so much, Gabson, for coming. We wish you the very best of luck as well. Inflation is down, so I think you should be enjoying the economy
I'm
as
not
well.
here to discuss
And
politics.
I'm
We're
just
here to
telling you,
discuss
but I'm
education.
just
So
telling
please,
you.
let's discuss education. That's our inflation for now.
The most important thing is on education.
Oh yeah.
Education flat.
So we don't say educational flood. Yes, I think that term will be used over the weekend. Educational flood, and also Theophilus Appel is the PRO Association of Private Schools. Still, thank you so much for coming. Earlier we had Dr. Saidu Mohammed Fita, Assistant Lecturer, UDS. He joined us via the phone. Unfortunately, we couldn't get John Kapi. He speaks for WAEC as well. But my name is Randy Ahadzi. Let me say a very big thanks to you for watching. It's always an honor coming your way every Friday morning with the dialogue. And a big thanks to the team for helping put this one together. Please, it's a weekend. Stay safe, stay out of trouble. Let's meet again next week. It's a wrap for now. Bye.